I'm Eric.
And I'm Steve.
Dominaria Mechanics.
1 year of YouTube.
Let's talk about it.
Welcome, Planeswalkers, to a year of YouTube, episode 23. And I can tell you we're super hyped. We've got a cake with a candle. I mean, gosh, how much more awesome
Could
can
you
it
want?
be?
Exactly.
So, of course, we want to talk to you up front always about Patreon. If you want to contribute anything to this, we really appreciate it. Thank you for all the new subscribers we've gotten over the last, week.
Yeah, 55 new people, so...
That Dominaria video shot us, straight to the moon. It was crazy.
Yep.
With that... I think that's all you have to talk about, right? Yeah.
Yep.
With that, we want to show you guys a really fun video that we put together. It's essentially all the bloopers that we've had over the last year. I think you're going to get a kick out of it. As a upfront warning, there's a little bit of cussing on it, so if you're, small kids or whatever, don't really want them exposed to that, I'd maybe blank out for this part, but if not, it's pretty enjoyable.
Yeah, it's
so here, we'll plug that in here.
Hey guys, welcome to the CollectorMania YouTube channel here. I'm Eric.
Hey, blooper. Basically just touching on Dejero Wise. I keep having to remind myself of the name. It's really funny.
Just to go over the commander here.
Okay. How am I starting this out?
On stone hands, do your job.
Did you already start it? Oh, did you really? Eric, I said, how am I starting this out? And you're like, go.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the gag. All right, let's just...
I don't know. It just bugs me.
Yeah,
but that's okay.
It bugs.
Yeah, bugs.
Where's Kylie and Greg when you need them?
It squirts me.
This is arachniding you.
Okay. I'm going to my trailer. Yeah. What?
We're live.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what? Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
Can we go?
We're going.
Okay, cool. Hey guys, it's Steve for CollectorMania. I'm here doing my deck tech for my video.
Okay.
I'm gonna clean my glasses off. All right, what do we have? Son of a bitch! Yes. Oh, we're going? Well, that's a good blooper. Okay. So stay in this space. That's what you're trying to tell me.
Pretty much.
I think I stay in that space, right? Yeah, okay. You sat there for 35 minutes on a close life video.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway. Hey guys, it's Steve for CollectorMania. We're just here doing... Hey guys, it's Steve for CollectorMania. We are here doing a new segment called the Commander Collection. As the first video, this will kind of just be more of a landing page top. All right. Hey guys, it's Steve for CollectorMania. I'm here doing a part of our new segment, the Commander Collection. Hey guys, it's Steve for CollectorMania.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Steve.
Iconic Masters, let's talk about it. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm Eric.
Oh, we don't have to do that.
I just deleted it.
Oh, son of a bitch. Hello, fuck. Oh, fuck.
Hello, Flip. I don't like this fellow play. Hey there, Planeswalkers. It's the EDH. Shit. Hey there, EDH players. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Maybe Eric needs to do it this time
Eric,
around.
you're going to do the
Steve,
intro.
you're so bad.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Steve.
Black Friday buy box promotion.
And from the vault. Shit.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Steve.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Steve.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Steve.
Black Friday buy box promotion.
From the vault. Spoilers.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Steve.
Rivals of Ixamon's. Bup. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna fuck this up.
Let's talk about it. Right?
Yeah. I'm Eric.
And I'm Steve.
MTG drama.
MT. Oh, jeez. There I go.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Steve.
MTG drama. I think MTG miss. I'm Eric.
And I'm Steve. Fine.
All right. I'm Eric.
And I'm Steve.
MTG drama.
From the vault miscuts.
Threat assessment. Ready?
Yeah.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Steve.
Oh God. Steve. I'm Eric.
And I'm Steve.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Steve.
Technical difficulties.
Theft.
Shit.
Can't even get through the intro.
D&D and Ixalan.
I incorporated the technical difficulties.
I think it's perfect, yeah. Are you ready?
Yep.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Steve.
Technical difficulties.
Theft.
D&D and Ixalan. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yep.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Steve.
Wallet relief.
I forgot what I was supposed to say.
Blooper.
Are we recording?
Yes.
Okay. Hey there, fellow Planeswalkers. Oh, God, start that over. Hey there, Planeswalkers. It's,
I'm sorry. Because it doesn't record right away. I'm so sorry. It doesn't record right away, Steve.
that's a blooper.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey there, fellow Planeswalkers. We're going to be... Oh, fucking hell.
Forget your name, Steve.
No. We're going to cut this one, okay?
Okay. Oh, it's so much work. I'm sorry.
Okay, we can do this. Okay. Hey there, fellow Planeswalkers. It's Steve for Collector... Oh, fucking me. I don't even know what I'm trying to say.
You got it. You got it.
Okay. Hey there, fellow Planeswalkers. It's Steve for CollectorMania. We're here doing our Pauper to Power series. I'm going to go over my deck list really quick. Well, not... Fuck, I did it again! Not deck list.
Cut it. Cut.
Synergize with Trevor herself or...
Listen to one of our recent clients and what we did for them.
Hey, that didn't even, like... Wasn't even a forethought. You know what I... Oh, gosh.
Oh, Steve.
I know, dude. I know.
Okay, well, I hope you guys really enjoyed that. I mean, Eric spent quite a bit of time putting it together for us. It definitely shows you how far we've progressed. You can literally watch my hair grow, like I said in the last video. I mean, it starts out like here, and now we're down to here, so just like I said. So anyway, the first thing we really wanted to go over were the Saga cards, because we kind of talked about the legend, or we didn't we did talk about the legendary creatures and everything last time. So let's get into a little bit more of like the mechanics. First thing I wanted to bring up here as far as like historic, because I know a few people are having questions on that. It's kind of self-explanatory because it says it on the card, but still sometimes people are missing it.
We missed it ourselves, like on our video until about I think when we got to Giora and it clicked for me.
Yeah. Finally reading the card all the way through.
Yes.
So yeah, that's artifacts, legendary creatures, and these enchantments. Which specific saga? I don't know if that's gonna become like an enchantment type, like
A new subtype.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I could see it. I mean, it's definitely lore friendly.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
And I don't think they have to continue with something like this. Like, of course, if we return to a historic plane or something, it'd be very easy to just make a new round of sagas.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is.
Oh yeah, they could do that for Ravnica, like super easy.
Yeah, totally. Like, I think this is something similar to, like, you know, you think of how unique the legendary gods were from Theros. Like, they didn't need to do that, but they did it again, of course, in Amonkhet and Our Devastation. It's just a new subtype or combination that makes it kind of interesting. So this is the only one we actually have artwork for, right?
Yeah.
And a layout. If you look, like, we've been using Mythic Spoiler for a lot of our videos, just kind of like guessing as far as, and I guess the rarity of some of these aren't confirmed.
Yeah, that was something that was brought up in the comment section of the last video, and that's 100% true. I would assume a lot of them are actually pretty accurate,
Yeah, I
though.
agree.
Like, maybe that one card that I thought was a mythic should be a mythic. It probably is. But most of the uncommon legendaries that we saw, I'm pretty sure they guessed right on those. Because, I mean, they do not feel like rares.
Rare. Yeah.
And since they've stated, yeah, we're going to put one in pretty much every pack.
They can't all be rare.
No.
Yeah.
No, that would be bad.
So, you want to break into this one?
Yeah, sure.
We're going to take a quick look at this one. We've got the Phyrexian Scriptures, 2 and 2 black. And the way these sagas work, you're essentially going to put lore counters on them for Saga 1, 2, and 3, essentially. And then usually they get removed or sacrificed at the end. So for Saga 1, put a +1/+1 counter on up to one other target creature. That creature becomes an artifact in addition to other types. So you're like Phyrexianizing a creature. Phase 2, destroy all non-artifact creatures. So if you're running an artifact, pretty good. Otherwise, you've got at least one from like Phase 1. And then Phase 3, exile all cards from opponents' graveyards. So kind of a progression there. Pretty curious, pretty fitting as far as theme.
I'm curious as to why they didn't do this on upkeep. Maybe because it gets sacrificed?
Yeah.
Like they do it at draw step, which is, well, after draw step, which is kind of interesting. That's, I don't know.
Lore counter.
Yeah, as this saga enters and after you draw, or after your draw step, add a lore counter, sacrifice after 3.
Yeah, that is kind of curious. I wonder why draw.
I need
Maybe
like
there's
better
some,
glasses or something.
maybe there's something we're missing as far as like another printed card that maybe they just wanted it out of the upkeep step. I don't know.
Maybe that was just too much to pay attention to. It's a possibility. There's a bunch of different things here. So this is a confirmed Mythic Saga card. So this is kind of the power level that we're going to be looking for, you know, Mythics, I guess, and rares and whatnot. Overall, it's an interesting card. I don't really care for the first Saga activation, like making a creature an artifact. Like, that could be important, but really, whatever. Destroy all non-artifact creatures. Wow, that's really powerful. And then the exile is actually really cool too. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn on these. I don't know. Enchantments are very, you know, they can get destroyed at any moment. And once somebody sees you're going to 2 and you're going to destroy everything, that's a little rough.
Yeah.
So for a mythic, in my opinion, 2 should be 1. And there should be something else on here.
On
you know
2
what I mean?
or something. Yeah.
Because like that would be awesome. I mean, it's a board wipe on an enchantment. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
So.
And it kind of makes sense as a turn 5 board wipe, if nothing else. Like, assuming your opponent's not also running artifact creatures, but yeah, it's curious.
Well, actually, no, it would trigger as soon as you play it because it's as the saga enters.
And then you'd have to draw.
And no, am I reading that right? As the saga enters and after you draw, after your draw step. So
you play
as it enters, does it go to saga 1?
It would do 1, and then when you draw, at the end of your draw, your next draw, you would get phase 2. And then at the end of your next draw,
I see. You're saying the actual card. Sorry, I'm in my hypothetical.
Oh,
role.
I see. Yeah, no worries.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, interesting. I think this is the only mythic so far, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I don't know. We'd have to look, but
we have the other decent ones.
Confirmed mythic. We'll put it that way.
I'm gonna move this cake.
Yeah, that's cool.
So don't put my elbow in it.
That wouldn't be very good for a celebration.
No.
So now we've got Triumph of Drod. So it's a colorless and a white saga, of course. Yep, you already know all that. So 1 and 2 is put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control with the greatest power. So your commander usually. And then 3 is target creature you control with the greatest power gains flying, first strike, and lifelink until end of turn. So a really interesting buff. It's kind of interesting to take it out of like the perspective of auras. So you can put this on the battlefield and not really care. Well, you care if it gets destroyed, but not as much as if your creature was going to get killed with an aura on it, and then it was going to fall off and all that stuff.
And as long as you've got a creature to like trigger that, you could have 3 different targets for this saga, assuming
That's true.
you know you play a better creature or the one you had with the +1/+1 counter on dies or something like a little bit more not redundant value, but like there's like a backup plan.
Yeah.
So
Did
curious.
I say that name right? Is it Gerard?
Gerard. I think it's Gerard.
Gerard.
Yep.
I don't know.
Tell us in the comments.
Yes, please.
I think it's Gerard.
I
Next one?
always get mixed up because we've got the Golgari guy that I always call
Gerard,
that
yeah.
too. So
Yeah.
and I know that's not right. So
We got the Eldest Reborn, 4 and a black. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Pretty good. Each opponent discards a card. Not so bad. Put target creature or planeswalker card from a graveyard on the battlefield under your control. Pretty good.
so this is probably my favorite so far.
Yep.
Like this feels good.
Yes.
Like although it's coming out on turn 5, like
Yeah.
in Commander specifically, that's actually pretty powerful. Like
Yeah. Turn 5 sack. You know, each opponent sack, and then each opponent discard turn 6. Turn 7 put something into play. That's pretty decent.
yeah, not
So,
bad at all.
No. Next we've got the Mirari Conjecture, blue and 4. Return target instant card from your graveyard to your hand. I know you were kind of excited
Yeah.
about this one. Return target sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand, and then until end of turn, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, copy it. You may choose new targets. Yeah, that's pretty good.
So I mean, think about that with like a turnabout. Like you cast it on turn or Saga 2 or whatever you want to call it, and then you untap all your lands. You do a bunch of degenerate stuff. Or I guess you do it on 1, and then no, I don't know. Well, because it's an instant speed spell, so I guess you'd really have to like format it. So you do it before this comes in. You untap all your lands. You return it to your hand. You can do it again. Then you can return something else ridiculous like an extra return spell. Then you can just copy. Oh my gosh, yeah,
and
that's
get
pretty
2
ridiculous.
of them on turn. What would that be? 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, after draw.
I gotta get used to these, like the stacking of these enchantments, because I keep thinking that I can activate them myself by
Yeah.
paying mana or something like
Right.
that.
And that's what somebody came in and they equated these to level up cards.
Yeah.
Kind of. Like, obviously you've got to put time into it, like, but it's almost like a mini planeswalker that is set, and it says on this turn you're activating this loyalty, on the next turn this one, then it's done.
I'm curious as to why these aren't legendary, like all of them.
Yeah.
I would have thought they would be.
Yeah, like some of them, especially like, I forget which one it was, but like having 2 of those in play at the same time, it'd just be like, holy cow.
Oh yeah, could you
know?
imagine playing another one of these after the turn you just played it? Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll get back that instant, that sorcery, that instant, that sorcery. Then I'll get back that sorcery and then copy whatever I play. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
I think they're like it's too alien for me right now to figure out what
Yeah,
impact
I
it
need
might
to
have.
play with it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Next we have History of Benalia.
Benalia? I think it's Benalia. Benalia. So it's a colorless and 2 white. 1 and 2 is create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance, so that knight tribal deck we were kind of talking about. And then 3 is knights you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. So if you want to think about stacking that with like some of those other effects that are on those legendary creatures, like give all of your first striking knights double strike, all of a sudden you've got all of your knights are +2/+1 and have double strike, and you have more knights as well. You've got 2 tokens in addition to whatever army you had before. Like this card in that deck is super explosive.
Yeah.
I know I was watching a video the other day where they were putting together a standard Knights tribal deck already, and it's just, it looks ridiculous already, and
Yeah.
we haven't even seen the full set yet, so
Yeah.
oh, that's something else that we kept saying last time that this was the entire set, and then we finally looked at the numbers on Mythic Spoiler, and it was just like, yeah, not
100,
quite.
140 or something out
Still-
of like 250.
Still a huge chunk. I think that morning just was so
It felt like Christmas.
like
It's like,
literally,
who cares?
like I said, I called Eric. I was like, we need to do this now because this is ridiculous. I know we don't have any time. Let's just get it shot. But anyway,
Yeah, that is true. There could be like
you said, like 30 more legendary creatures that we
Yeah.
just don't even know about yet.
or
And-
another group of these, like Steve
Yeah.
had mentioned, I think in that video, Wizards is trying to give you the legendary feel.
Yeah.
Like there could be a whole nother giant group of pretty much everything new and cool.
I hope there's some legendary like colorless creatures in here.
Yeah.
Like I just crossing my fingers here
Yeah.
because there weren't any in the last spoilers. So I hope there's another in whatever amount of cards we have left because
Yeah.
that would be cool.
Yes, it would.
Those are the ones I look for.
Yeah, and there's too few, I'd say.
Yeah, not very many.
Yeah. Next we have Fall of the Thran. 5 in white. Destroy all lands on 1. For 2 and 3, each player returns 2 land cards from their graveyard to the battlefield. Pretty curious. Imagine destroying this or something and then like removing your enchantment. Like, I guess it's a roundabout way to maybe blow up all lands, but like,
I mean, it costs 6, so I mean, it's not as it's more expensive than Armageddon, of course, but it's not as well. It's as expensive as Yokel Hops if you look at it that way. Not as good as Yokel Hops, obviously, because Yokel Hops does a lot more. But I don't know. It's an interesting. The thing that I think I keep looking at with these is that they have spell type effects, but on a permanent. So you can actually return this from the battle or from the graveyard with certain spells and put it on the battlefield, and then have it act. Trigger essentially. Well, I don't know. Yeah, because it's as it enters. See, I keep getting hung up on that.
but like for the first one.
Yeah, it's just like, ew. But that would be pretty devastating. I mean, Commander, this is perfect for any like land destruction deck. I know not a lot of people play that because it's not really something people like playing against, but I would include it.
Yeah, definitely.
I think enchantment decks are actually getting a huge boon here, which is great.
Just all of these like cool things to choose from now.
Yeah.
The first eruption.
So it's 2 colors and a red. One is the first eruption deals 1 damage to each creature without flying, so pretty cool. 2 is add 2 red mana to your mana pool, which is really cool. And then 3 is sacrifice mountain. If you do, the first eruption deals 3 damage to each creature. So kind of a pretty low casting, I don't know, ramping up kind of thing. Like, the only one that I'm really super interested in is number 2, where I get the 2 red mana. Like, number 3 is cool, whatever, because if you just need to finish the game and you just need to get past some creatures that are a little bit smaller than yours, then yeah. But the problem is most of these mono red decks that would be running this are running creatures that are that small, and it's going to kill all of them. So
yeah, and it's like if you could do that a bunch of times or something, that'd be okay. But yeah, it's kind of odd. I think you're right. Having like if you play this turn 3, turn 4 you have 4 mana hopefully, and then 2 you'd have 6 on turn 4. Yeah, that's the good part. Maybe you would play a giant or something. We'll see.
Yeah.
What do you think? Next one.
Yep.
Next we got the Flame of Keld, 1 in a red. Discard your hand, draw 2 cards, and then if a red source you control would deal damage to a permanent or a player this turn, it deals that much +2. So not too bad. There's a Chandra that does that, right?
Yeah, and there's also a dragon that does kind of similar things to it. I don't know. I think when I read this card the first time, I thought you drew cards when you discarded your hand, so that makes this a little bit weaker. But
yeah, an uncommon.
Yeah, I mean it's okay. If you're, it's a cheap, I guess. Well, not really. I was gonna say what am I trying to say? Faithless Looting, but it's not even close to Faithless Looting. It's kind of like a long game Faithless Looting where you discard your hand, then you draw the 2 cards next turn. That's a little risky because somebody could just blow this up and then you're top decking forever. Yeah. But I mean, theoretically, if you're playing this card, you should probably be down to this card and that's it anyway. Yeah. Kind of thing. So it shouldn't matter as much. But I don't know. Really kind of weird.
I think an uncommon power level here.
Yeah, for sure.
The Song of Freyalise.
Such a cool title. So it's a colorless and a green. This one's really boppity. So 1 and 2 is until your next turn, creatures you control add 1 mana of any color. So essentially turns them all into Bird's Paradises, which is ridiculous. Yeah. Considering you have like 10 creatures out, you're just like whatever, Yep. And then 3 is put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Those creatures gain vigilance, trample, and indestructible until end of turn, which is great.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Super cool.
But once again, the thing with this card is that people are going to see this coming from 3 miles away, essentially, and get rid of it right away. So,
yeah, it's neat. Next, so I think that's it for the sagas we chose to like highlight. The next thing we're going to talk about is there's a cycle of legendary sorceries. I think we're missing the black one at the moment. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So first we have Urza's Ruinous Blast for 4 and a white legendary sorcery. So if you read the like parentheses text here, you can only cast legendary sorcery if you control a legendary creature or planeswalker. Exile all non-land permanents that aren't legendary. So that's
I think this is a really interesting way to restrict these cards.
Yeah.
Like we kind of talked about a couple episodes ago, talked about like having like dual lands that have like a legendary subtype on them or something like that. And this is kind of like that version of putting a restriction on a really ridiculous spell, because this at 5,
Yeah.
like exile all non-land permanents that aren't legendary, like that's really powerful.
Yeah, imagine, like, I know we're coming from the commander perspective, but that could be nuts. If you've got your commander, or you're playing like a Sisay deck or something, and it's just like, well, there goes all your stuff, and it's exiled. It's not even just destroyed.
Yeah.
I think of this as like cards in Standard that just get played over and over and over again. Like the cards that come to mind, I think Sphinx's Rev overstayed its welcome in Standard when it was there. Imagine if that had you need a legendary to play that card. That's just another like wiggle you've got to make to put it in your deck and make it work. And this is arguably pretty powerful for 5, like you said. But
once again, going back to Commander, literally all you have to do is play your Commander, and then you can play this.
Right?
So it's almost like there was a meme going around. It's just like, well, what are the kids buying nowadays? And they're playing Commander, so let's just make Commander the focus of this entire set. And it really kind of like rings true. I mean, like legendary sorcery. Like,
who would have guessed?
Like, where are my legendary instants? That's what I'm curious about.
Next set. Yeah, that would be sweet. Next we have Karn's Temporal Sundering, cool title as well. So 4 and 2 blue. Again, legendary sorcery. Target player takes an extra turn after this one. Return up to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Exile Karn's Temporal Sundering. So
this is more like them being afraid of doing extra turn stuff. Like, as we just talked about, this really isn't that nuts of a spell, but they really don't want to do a whole lot of extra turns shenanigans anymore.
And I'm sure in Standard too.
Yeah, really. So I mean, this kind of like breaks that mold that I was talking about earlier. Like it's a decent spell. It's not bad at all. Don't get me wrong, but it doesn't feel like it needs that restriction of having to have a legendary in order to cast it for 6 mana. Now, if it costs like 4, that would be a different story. But then it would be totally busted, and
I could see this being included in all the decks that want it anyway. Like any blue deck or like Storm deck or Wizard deck or whatever is still going to want an extra turn on this card. Not bad. So next, red.
Jazz Immolating Inferno. Sorry, thank you. So X and 2 red. Jazz Immolating Inferno deals X damage to each of up to 3 targets. So that's pretty powerful.
So this is going in Neheb the Eternal.
Rakdos.
Yeah,
there's a ton of decks that I can think of. I mean, even like I've bounced around with the idea of putting this in Kari Zev just because I could potentially kill 2 of their creatures and deal them a ton of damage, you know what I mean? Or just kill 3 of their creatures. It's a lot of mana to get any of that accomplished, so you think about 5 mana right there for 3 damage on each one of them. But I guess you could target the player twice and then target the creature, or you could just target the player 3 times, right?
Of each of up to... it would have to say... That's a good question. Usually it would say another.
Yeah.
Or different.
It deals X damage to each of up to 3 targets. So I mean...
I think you could only target a person once.
Really?
I think that's correct.
Okay.
I could be dead wrong. Let us know.
Yes. Well, either way. Kill 2 creatures and then hit your opponent for a bunch of damage.
Yeah, I'd be fine, like you said, casting this for X equals 3. Kill 2 creatures and 3 to somebody's like dome and then swing through. Like not too bad. I'd be curious to see the art. That one just sounds cool.
Yeah.
Next we have Kamal's Druidic Vow. So another X and 2 green. Look at the top X cards of your library. You may put any number of land and or legendary permanent cards with converted mana cost X or less from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest in your graveyard. So it's like not a Genesis wave, right?
No, not quite.
But a legendary land wave.
Look at the top X cards of your library. Your number of lands are legendary permanents. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's boppity.
Yeah.
Like, I would include this into like a Selvala deck, although I don't know how many legendary. I'd have to count out my legendary permanents at that point, but
even if you hit lands, I'd hit it for lands.
I mean, it's an interesting ramp spell, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So maybe like something like this in like Wart, like that could be a lot of fun. Like,
oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course Omnath. I thought Omnath right away. Like right now, I've just got like Boundless Realms. There's that other one from Commander 17 that I probably should include. This isn't too bad. I think I don't run enough legendaries to make it like valuable. Otherwise, it's just a ramp spell. Like,
well, there is. This might be the kick in the pants that I finally needed to build my mono green legendary deck with that one guy that says whenever you play a legendary spell, you draw a card. Like, I forget what his name is, but I tried to build that a few years ago and it kind of fell flat on its face.
Is that the Rike
Yeah, it's something like
From
that. It's
Kamigawa?
from Kamigawa, and it's
Yeah.
just it's a guy, like I said, cast a legendary spell, you draw a card.
Yeah, it'd be pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. So now that we've gone over Dominaria and the sagas and a little bit more of the mechanics, let's kind of focus on our main topic here, which
Yeah.
is a year of YouTube. Like, how do you feel after a year of YouTube, Eric?
It feels pretty good. I know we used to joke. We'd say, how many subs do you think we'll have? Not that that's a measure of anything, because we're having a lot of fun, and we got over that like pretty quick. I'd say.
Oh yeah,
but,
I think we predicted that we'd probably have like 500 by the end of the year.
yeah. I think I said 300 by a year,
Yeah.
and I'd be happy. And we're at like
8-something.
830 or something. Like, and like Steve said at the beginning of the video, we had 55 subs since last week, which is just nuts. So thank you all if you're all
Yes,
here still.
yes.
But yeah, like it's been good.
Yeah.
Thursdays are sweet all the time.
And as you saw in the bloopers, we have definitely had our share of problems. I will tell you, from the technical side of things, there are a few, like, just hiccups that you will run into, and you just have to kind of climb over them.
Yeah.
Like this morning, we literally ran into another one of them, and it's been an issue forever. And every time the computer seems to try and do an update, it's just like, start over.
Yep.
Basically.
Yeah.
Me and Eric were kind of joking that, you know, if we ever make it, we're just going to buy a new laptop and just throw this one out of a window
Like
and
Office-
record it.
Office Space it. Yeah.
Yeah, just because, like, we've had so many problems with this laptop in particular, just with, like, recording things and then, like, audio going in and out and stuff like that. But even with all that, I'd say it's been a lot of fun. Like, either way, like, it's been a blast. We've learned a ton of stuff. I know we've said that several times, and let's talk about it, but really, we have learned quite a few things. I would recommend to anyone that's looking to even try this just to go
Just do
for
it.
You don't necessarily have to have any of the super expensive equipment. I'd say the most expensive camera we have is probably the one that we normally record on,
Yeah.
which was like, what, $600, something like that?
Something like that. We'll do a link for all the products and stuff, and that was a year and a half ago probably that we
Yeah.
bought it. And we picked up some extra stuff, like again Steve said, kind of maybe not unnecessary stuff, but some good paths, and you know, we could talk about, I guess we should talk about that.
Yeah, I will say that as far as what we do, and if you're looking to set up a similar channel to what we're doing, I would not go get a GoPro.
No. Yeah.
We found that the GoPro, although it shoots amazing video and it's really easy to use and really cool, as far as like doing like commentary and like stuff like this, it just doesn't work. Like, you have to, the way the GoPro is set up essentially is you can't just like run it to the feed or whatever you want to call this into the program and just straight record and then just be set up. Like, this is a streaming camera. That's part
That's
of why
what it
this
was.
is probably, this is set up the way it is. And
Yeah.
it works so good. Whereas once again with the GoPro, it's a lot more like editing. I would say a lot more like interview style, which is fine, and I think it works great for that.
We're just really bad at it.
Well, I think we're gonna try. You know, this coming up year, I think we're gonna try and do more like, I don't know, skits and stuff like we've talked about, and I think that'll actually come in handy, especially if we want to do anything outside.
Yeah.
Because that's a big thing with the GoPro is the portability. Because that's
This
a
is
huge
impossible.
difference. Like, huge difference. Like, this thing is like clunky. Its power doesn't last as long, half as long as probably the GoPro does, and then like you just go with the GoPro and you're just like,
Let's do whatever you want.
you shove another battery in there and you're just like, I'm still going, doesn't matter. And I think we have 2, right?
Yeah.
2 batteries, which is kind of ironic because we barely use the thing, which I feel terrible about. Which
I mean, we use. I think its original home was like time lapse alter stuff.
Yeah.
And I think we have a video, the gold leaf video that we haven't posted quite
Oh yeah,
yet.
I
But
forgot we haven't even put that up.
that one's really good, and I think that's where it belongs.
Well,
and that's kind of where we were.
And
probably,
it's got the sharpness that
yeah,
we really
my
need
goodness,
to.
it does.
Yeah, I mean, it really, it's crazy. Like, if you haven't noticed or haven't watched, like, some of the gag videos we did for the game nights, like, you can almost tell, like, when we're using the, well, you can tell.
Yeah.
We can tell.
This one
like,
we're using this one.
Yeah, when we're using that one compared to the GoPro, because it's just, the image is so
Night and day.
crisp.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as other like equipment, like I said and like Steve said, it's, you don't need anything. I mean, we should almost link in the description. We'll check out the Kari Zev.
Yeah, we literally started on a tablet.
Yeah, and Steve was like,
Yeah, I was like, basically
Holding
the
it
way
and,
I
like-
did it is I put the deck right here, and I set the tablet against my chest to hold it there.
yeah,
And I just hit record and then just went through card by card. That was our first 5
deck tech.
videos,
Yep.
like, of deck text. I think everything else was box opening or whatever.
Yeah.
But oh man, we've come so
we've
far.
come a long way. yeah, and like as far as products, like Steve said, we got a Sony Handycam. It was originally used for streaming. Now we kind of use it as our main camera. We use an Elgato recording box for that as well, which is another part of the streaming scenario, I guess. For audio, eventually that's all we had for a long time, was just the camcorder and the Elgato.
It actually worked really well. Like I think most of the 32 series was
on
actually
that.
just shot with the mic from the camera.
Yes, and it
Sounds fine.
If you saw those bloopers, I think you might be able to tell there as well. But it's a great setup. Like, other than that, we spent a little bit and got a Focusrite box, a 2i2 over here, and there's an even smaller one, which is just for one input.
This was super key. It was important.
Past a certain point, we said we need a new camera, and then we said, you know what, let's try audio. And every time I hear a video filmed on this mic, and that mic is an Audio Technica AT2020, it is just like, it sounds so good.
Yeah.
It sounds so freaking good.
Especially once again, you look at like the skits and stuff like that. Like that made a huge difference because we would have never been able to capture what we captured in other ways.
I think so. Bought some lights.
Yeah.
Savage lights for our deck techs.
Those are at the home base, the home studio.
Yep.
I would say those work amazingly well too. The green screen.
Yeah.
Like that's another thing. Like we have 2 now.
Yep, we got a big one. Just a one you can install with a curtain rod. We'll link to everything.
Yeah.
We'll try to go through things. So, but yeah, like,
What was the fold up one called?
I don't know. It's a 5x7 off Amazon. I think it was like $50.
Yeah, it's
30 or
really
50
cool.
bucks.
Like if you're looking at doing anything like close and cropped, like those videos that we did for the deck techs and whatnot, perfect.
Yep.
Like if that's all you need is you and then literally like
The background
like
gone.
like a 3 foot whatever want to say, that's perfect. It worked amazingly for a really long time for us, and then we just decided that we needed like the
Something bigger.
room sized one.
Yeah, that one's 15x9, so it's like hung up and
it's
rolled up,
big.
and yeah, you could do whatever you want in that one.
We could shoot action movies
Yeah,
with Greg.
multiple people in a spot. What else do we have?
Well, I mean, as far as or like stuff that we use, like I will tell you, if you were working on a laptop, you need a mouse. Like this has been a lifesaver. It doesn't always work. I know that's pretty basic, but like that's something that I would have never thought of. Like,
And like we got I think it's a 4 terabyte hard drive on sale.
that's important.
Because this computer and a laptop is probably not the best choice, I don't think. But
It really isn't. I think we have a desktop that we tried to work on for a little while, and then it just kept crapping out on us. I'm gonna have one of my buddies take a look at it and see if he can use his computing wizardness and fix it, because the thing is that once you really start going and you hit a certain, like this Dominaria wall that we run into, you almost need a machine working on editing and like producing
Recording
at the
and
same
stuff.
time and recording, so that way you're stacking up all your workloads, because otherwise it's a nightmare, because once you're producing you can't do anything else.
No.
You literally just have to
or
step
you
away from the
probably
computer.
shouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
you shouldn't, for
Yep.
sure. We've tried it. It's a disaster. It's a
Yeah.
nightmare. So yeah, if you're really getting into it, just prepare like later on in the future for that kind of stuff. Like we're not even there yet. Like we don't even have 2 computers yet. We've been running on this one forever and ever, which I kind of feel bad for the machine now. I'm sorry we called you bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do bad things though.
Yeah, that's true. It's like cursed.
Yeah, it's like a bad dog that pees on your carpet. Every once
Still
in a while.
love them, but
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What else?
Oh, webcams. We do have 2 webcams. 2, I think.
Yeah, Logitech CR920, and then another one. I don't know that one. Kylie lent it to us. We
Yeah.
use it once or twice for more streaming stuff, like cross shot of the table and people's hands and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Not necessarily for this, but
I mean, there are a lot of things that you can do. I mean, they're very cheap. Like,
Yes.
in comparison to all the other stuff we just talked about. Like, if you start on a webcam, you're fine. Like, usually that'll shoot high enough quality for you to be interesting enough to get rolling into YouTube. I would say, at least.
even like your phone camera, like that would probably
They're even better than most of the ones that are out
Yeah.
now. So it's just like,
just grab it there and put it into a program I was going to mention. Of course, we use OBS, Open
Oh, yeah.
Broadcasting Software, and then AVS, which is, I think, audio video editor. I don't know.
systems. I
Yeah,
think you're right.
systems.
I mean, both the programs run really, really well.
Yeah.
They're definitely not the high end. They're not like Adobe, you know, whatever. They're, I mean, the one cost is like $60. The other one's completely free. So that's kind of what you're looking at as far as cost there. It's not terrible.
No.
Like, just get the unlimited package if you're going for it. Don't do the monthly thing. Just buy it, because before you know it, a year will be up and it'll just be like, well, I have it forever, so it doesn't really matter.
And one thing I forgot, speaking of mics, is we used to use a Yeti Snowball that was lent to us, and we actually used to.
Every once in a while, like,
use it at
I
home?
use it at home because it works fine for, like, if it's just you and you're just trying to do, once again, like commentary or like go through a deck tech or whatever, it's fine. It works perfectly. You can definitely know you can tell the difference between the two. That's for sure. Still, but in comparison to like just using like a really, really crappy mic,
just that's pretty much all you need. Really, your cell phone and some software, like, and some cards to talk about. Really, you know.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, obviously, there's a lot of people that will probably end up wanting to do something other than Magic. I mean, we've getting into the other aspect of it, like as far as the creative process and all that stuff. Like, it's kind of funny because you really do try and gear your videos more towards what people are actually interested in, because like we've had several series that just go nowhere, and it's just the nature of the beast. You kind of have to find where your audience is, and like even on this channel, like we have essentially two main things that we talk about, and that's EDH Commander and then LCGs. Like, and that's all Kyle. Like Kyle, he handles all that on his own, and it's amazing. I love being able to just let him go crazy and do his own thing.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
And
it's good.
I'm thankful that he wants to be on our channel doing that.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. So, but yeah, getting back to content, like we tried streaming EDH for a long time. That basically went nowhere. We tried streaming like even standard at some point, and we'd get a few viewers here and there, but it wasn't anything like. I think the big breakout one for us was the Commander 2016.
And I'd say
that right.
Even before then, like Amonkhet, the Amonkhet Deck Builder
Amonkhet,
Challenge and stuff, those are pretty good. And then we did a series of brew previews for the Hour Devastation.
Yeah.
And I guess that was probably about the same time. But yeah, definitely Commander 17, like that. Yeah, I can't wait for Commander 18.
Oh gosh, no. And like we were just talking about earlier, like Dominaria is like Commander light, even though it's actually Commander heavy, but
yeah,
it's like a great lead up to it. So look forward to those videos. We're going to be doing deck text till here from the end of time.
Yeah.
We're probably going to end up doing like 6 challenge videos, which I know you guys like, especially like, and that's another thing that I will tell you as far as looking at this from perspective of somebody trying to do YouTube, is that you look at that relevancy. So like, for example, like we have gameplays where it's just like Mono Green Summit. And although we love doing those, they're not the most popular, which is fine for us because it's just like, whatever, we'll put it up anyway because we did it. We might as well.
Yeah.
We had a blast doing it. But then you compare that to something like when our first Amonkhet video came out and it was super relevant because it was like the week of, you know. Like, compare like 2,000 views to 110.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing, too, is that YouTube will only really pick up and start like cycling something that actually hits, which is exactly what happened with the last talk about it.
Yeah.
So we're grateful for that, of course.
Yeah,
but
big time.
yeah, so pay attention to that. I know I don't know if this is the way that you thought this was going to go, talking to people about if they wanted to start the channel or a channel, but
you know, I think it's good. It's a worthy challenge, and I think that's what we initially said, and I think it's been proven. Like,
yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, and
we're what 170 subscribers away from getting monetized again, which is amazing.
That's another one of those trials, you know, like boy.
It's kind of funny because we'll probably be one of the last generations of YouTubers to have to go through that, like being monetized, then becoming not monetized, and then becoming monetized again. Yeah, just it's a weird cycle that most people won't have to deal with, I guess.
Yeah, it kind of does stink that so many people might, like, even now, if we're encouraging you, like there's our friend Alex at Deck Builder Society he's going crazy. He's been doing it for like 6 months.
Well, and his stuff is such high quality.
Yeah.
I don't know how he hasn't eclipsed us at this point.
I
really,
mean, like last time I checked, he was at like 250.
Yeah.
Now he's at like 360, and it's like 2 weeks. Like,
his videos are amazing.
Yeah, like, but it sucks for him because he's, and anybody else who's behind where we are or where somebody else is, like, today's the day if you want to start, because the more time it'll take time. Like,
Well, and who knows? They might change it again, and then
They-
I
yeah.
say, "Oh, you need 10,000
that's what
subscribers."
I'm anticipating. Unfortunately,
It's just like we finally get to 1,000, and then change it again. It's just like, oh, Eric.
yep,
But-
it'll happen, man. I guarantee it.
Once again, I will not overstate this enough. If you are doing this, you need to love doing it, because there really is not that much reward, especially in the beginning. There is not. I mean,
and there's a lot of like.
well, I guess I shouldn't say there's not a lot of reward, because there actually is. There's not a lot of monetary compensation. Let's put it that way.
Right now we're like, and I think for really that was a perk. Like,
Yeah.
I'd say it's fully just fulfilling to do.
Yeah.
Like, it's fun to plan Thursdays and stuff around this, but and like play with Kylie and Greg and like visiting people here and there. But like, it's it can be a lot.
Well, and literally, if you haven't caught on, like, literally, we've been doing this every Thursday for about a year. Like,
If
we
not
might
Thursdays
have missed,
and Tuesdays and Sundays and
There was a point in time where we did 2 or 3 days a week, and it
Yep.
was oh man. And now we're, like you said, we're pretty much down to just doing Thursday, and we record most of our stuff. Sometimes the gameplays and whatnot have to be recorded on a different day just because of like product release schedules and whatnot. But
yeah.
for the most part, Thursday is the day.
Yeah, it's I think a worthy challenge.
Yeah, I would say also find a buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this makes this a lot easier
Yeah.
than just trying to do it on your own. Kylie and Greg coming on every once in a while, that helps a lot too. Those guys have been great. I mean, if they're watching, thank you guys. You both have been awesome. And thank you anyone like Lauren. Chris is coming on later today. Daniel, any of those guys that have played with us. I'm sorry if I'm forgetting anyone.
Yeah.
I don't mean to.
Even like Kyle and all his
Well,
buddies, like Tyler and Dominic and
His entire cast, basically.
Yeah, Todd. There's man.
Like, I know we've had Seth on here, we've had Bobby on here, we've had people from way back in the day on here.
Our commentators are standard and other EDH events. Like, it's nuts.
Well, and then once again, thank you to all the people that let us record them playing 1v1 finals. Like, that's probably one of my favorite videos to do or even participate in, is just the 1v1 finals for Commander. Like, it's just such a to me, I want to my goal this next year is to try and translate the energy that I feel ramping up to that into that video.
Yep.
Try and figure out how to translate that, how to be a little bit more, I guess.
I can't wait for the commentary because it looks like you're gonna make it for sure. Greg is on the bubble.
Yep.
And I think he could make it if he replaces like 7.9 or something.
Yeah, he needs to do pretty good tonight, which is kind of sucks because he's not going to join us for the Masters 25, which you'll probably see this later. You'll probably see this on Friday, so we're shooting that tonight, of course. But he really wants to participate in the league.
Yeah. So it's me and Kylie doing commentary, and that
Most likely,
I cannot wait. It's gonna be so much fun. So, but yeah.
Yeah, you get to. I'm gonna try something a little bit different. Like, you heard it here first. I'm gonna play my mono black deck. I know that's contrary to what I should probably do. I should probably play my Kari Zev deck and just wipe the floor again, but I don't know. That's too boring. I've already won once that way, so I want to try something a little bit different and see if old Bantu can chalk up a win.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What do you think, Steve?
Well, I think we've definitely talked about it. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed the bloopers reel. That's probably my favorite part of this entire video. Like,
we were in tears, like, seriously.
That's part of the technical problem we were running into, is we really wanted to do a reaction video with it, but the program literally would not let us do it easily. We could have done it, but it would have been a nightmare. So we just kind of backed away from that and just kind of let you guys enjoy it as it goes, because there are some clips in there. Like I said, once again, there's a lot of cussing, so I'm sorry if that offends anyone.
Not a lot of cussing.
Well,
hopefully they've seen it already and they don't care.
Yeah, there's enough. But anyway,
Yeah.
With that, episode 23 wrap up. Look forward to the 830 subscriber video. That'll be a fun gag that we'll put together here pretty soon. And make sure to watch the Masters 25 draft and Masters 25 sealed with Iconic Masters. We'll see you guys later.
Take it easy.